Om Shakti.
Shakti.
Dearest devotees, how wonderful to welcome you to this second discourse in this program of our virtual Navaraathri. In our first discourse, we discussed the feminine quality of the Divine Mother. And today we're going to speak about how Navaratri is often described as the pathway to victory. The 10 day is considered Vijayadasami, Vijayam meaning victory, Dasam meaning 10. On the 10 day, why 10 day? Why do we have 10 days and only after the 10 day, we all want instant gratification. We want all things to happen instantly. So why 10 days? We know that in Navaratri, the first 3 days is dedicated to Mother Durga, next 3 days to Mother Lakshmi, and the last 3 days to Mother Saraswati. So Ane, maybe you can tell us about why Durga is worshipped in the first 3 days of Navaratri.
Durga meaning that which is inaccessible. And often we need to understand that we must have a desire within us to achieve, to attain that which is inaccessible within us. We must want to go to that negative tendency which is within us in order to take it out of us, to go through some kind of change, some kind of transformation that we need to have in our lives. In the 10th day, having gone through Durga in the first 3, and Mahalakshmi in the second 3, and Mahasaraswati in the third 3, in the last 3, so that we could achieve a kind of success that we want. We want to clear ourselves with negative tendencies, go through a spiritual change, and have an aim and an objective like Mahalakshmi means, and Saraswati means that which is ever flowing, that we can achieve that in the last 3 days, and on the 10th day we can truly taste that victory in the 10th day.
So the Durga sits on the lion and she doesn't look too fierce on the lion. But when she assumes the form of Kali, it strikes terror in just about everyone. So why then is Kali? What is different about Durga, and what is so special about Kali?
Durga, as David mentioned, is that which becomes inaccessible to us, that which is very difficult for us to find within ourselves. But that is still something, that is a journey that we are on. Kali comes to remind us that time is something that is always moving.
Time is ticking.
Time is ticking, exactly. And that's why she is so fierce, because everything gets consumed by time. A plant will not last through the winter if it is not properly taken care of. Because of that, time. Every single thing is consumed by time in the world. We don't have any time to waste. That is what the fierceness of Mahakali is there to teach us, that if you want to find this negativity in you, don't wait one more second. Don't say, I'm going to start next week. Use the time that you have right now, because time is moving, time is consuming, and you are running out of time if you don't start in this moment.
So Hindus are often asked about what is the difference between the Abrahamic religions, where you say we are born into sin, and we in Hinduism say there is no such thing as evil. Can you maybe comment about it?
We say there's no such thing as evil because everything truly is divine. We have to accept and understand that everything from the time we breathe, till the time we get up in the morning and breathe, till the time we go to sleep, everything must be treated as a divine instance in our lives. That's why we believe that there's no evil. But if we understand truly that within us there lies evil, and in order for us to experience the goodness, we have to take the evil out. We have to extract the evil from within us.
But when we say evil, what do we mean in Hinduism? What is that evil? Is it something that is a permanent kind of thing? What is evil?
Evil, in fact, has no existence. Evil is only the absence of goodness. You can't just create darkness. You have to remove light in order for darkness to be there. This is the way that evil or negative tendencies work. It is simply the absence of the good.
So in this one philosophy of ours in Hinduism, we say called Advaita, There's only oneness. There's only one. So, for example, we say there is no bad, isn't it?
There is no bad. Because as David mentioned, everything is divine.
There's an absence of good. There is no darkness because there's only absence of light. There is no hatred because there's only absence of love.
And the most practical way for you to understand it is, there is no such thing as ignorance. There is only the lack of knowledge. You only don't know about something. You only don't know how to do something. But that can be changed when you just introduce knowledge. This is the concept of the pairs of opposites. There is no evil. There is only the lack of good.
So, the next 3 days we celebrate on this journey to victory, Mother Lakshmi. And you said in the beginning, in summing up with what I asked you, that Lakshmi means, Laksha has a meaning,
To an aim, one has to have an aim or an objective in life.
aim, objective, or purpose in life. So, for many people, what Lakshmi means?
Lakshmi means wealth, material wealth,
For most
not
people,
spiritual wealth, yeah. But truly, people have to understand, and just like you said, just to go back one step, when you talk about Durga coming on the lion, when people see Durga, they forget the fierceness of the lion, because they see the fierceness of Durga. So coming in to Lakshmi, you must have the aim and the objectives. You must want to, you must have a desire to want something that is a little bit more spiritual. You need to see the spirituality in Lakshmi, not only the material wealth.
so Lakshmi rides an owl, isn't it?
Yeah.
So an owl is one that comes out in the dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the dark side of wealth is something we don't see, isn't it? We don't see it, isn't it? It's not something that is obvious. So when we create a space in our personality, when we get rid of all the negative tendencies in us, there is a space left, isn't it? So we call these negative tendencies Ashtaraga, isn't it?
Yes.
8 bad qualities. Raga means that which take us away from Dharma, isn't it? So those 8 bad qualities are
Kamam.
Krodha.
So kamam is lust or desire for sensual things. Kama. Krodha is anger.
Anger. Kama, Krodha.
Lobham.
Lobham.
Which is greed. Mada, arrogance.
Lobham. Moha.
Moham, which means illusion. It is our great illusion of our world that we create in our own minds. There cannot be 7 billion minds. There cannot be 7 million worlds, but we're all living in that.
7 billion.
Billion. Every person has their own mind and in that way their own world. But this is our illusion. This is the concept of moham. Matsarya, which is jealousy. Asuya, the inability to see the good in others. And finally, dhamba, which is very much like the English word that it sounds like. It is that dumbness, lethargy.
Inertness, lethargy.
No, as you were saying, you must have a desire to do something. Dhamba is the complete lack of that aiming for something higher or better.
So when we get rid of these 8 bad qualities, it is so beautifully, mathematically it sounds so beautiful. You get you get rid of 8 bad qualities, 8 negative tendencies, and you make place for 8 positive qualities in the form of Lakshmi, and that is called, the 8 forms of Lakshmi is called
Ashtalakshmi.
Ashtalakshmi. Ashta mean Sanskrit means
8.
8. So the 8 purposes, or the 8 objectives, or the 8 aims that we need to, and those are
Sri Devi, which is the wealth of all spirituality, all that is beyond this material world. And note that this comes first. Sri Devi. Bhudevi, material wealth, or the wealth of this earth. Saraswati is the wealth of knowledge. Kriti, the wealth of fame, and it is the fame of a good name, the fame of a good reputation.
a good family.
But, yeah. Virtuous faith.
Virtuous fame, not the kind of popular stuff that we see engulfing the
No,
world
there are a lot
around
of people that are famous for the wrong reasons.
us. Infamy.
I mean, you know them, they're very famous, but they're famous for the wrong reasons.
So Kriti is that kind of fame. Priti is love. Shanti, peace. Dushti,
strength.
And pushti, which is
Now, pushti is strength, dushti is pleasure.
the pleasures of the world. So these are the 8 Ashtalakshmi, or the 8 goals that we should strive to achieve in our life. That will bring all kinds of wealth.
So, a beautiful thing for our young youth to sort of understand it. Our religion, Hinduism, doesn't make, or Sanatana Dharma doesn't say that we should not enjoy the pleasures of the world, is it? The material world is real and we should enjoy that. So finally, on the last 3 days, we then worship Mother Saraswati, isn't it? And Mother Saraswati is the goddess of
knowledge,
divine knowledge.
divine knowledge.
And that knowledge, when we get that knowledge on the last 3 days, it is the knowledge, the one thing that we learn whereby everything else is known. Isn't it? When we come into touch with that which we need to know, we find everything else is knowable. So this Lakshmi is divided into these two, Saraswati into these two knowledge, Vidya and Paravidya. So Paravidya, the supreme knowledge, is the knowledge of
The divine, the knowledge of the ultimate consciousness and ourselves.
yeah, and our ultimate purpose is to find that within ourselves. Isn't it? That is Paravidya.
And when you know that Paravidya, all other kinds of knowledge become so simple to grasp because you have understood the oneness, and because everything is that one, knowing that supreme means you will gain knowledge of every single thing in the world.
So these days our children are only chasing Vidya, isn't it? Which is the knowledge of security. We do become a doctor, become a lawyer, teacher, whatever profession we want, with the aim of
securing a job, with the aim of securing work so that you could earn a living. But the purpose is, like you said, we need to have to enjoy the pleasures of the world. But the pleasures of the world is not only that which man made. We need to understand that there's a pleasure in sunlight. We need to understand there's a pleasure in rain. We need to understand that there's a pleasure in air, in ether. There's a pleasure in all these things, but we need to find that pleasure.
yes, they are none as blind as those who refuse to see or can't see, isn't it? So like that, in this journey to success, the first 3 days we had to destroy the negative tendencies within ourselves. Next 3 days, make room for that by destroying that and imbibe this Lakshmi, or these 8 forms of Lakshmi. Then we need knowledge to know how to utilize Lakshmi. How many children have you seen, or how many families you have seen a father leaves wealth for their children, leaves an empire, and not having the knowledge to look after that? What happens?
Yep. There's in fact even an entire TV series about this. People who have won the lottery, millions and millions of dollars, euros, rands, and today, 2 or 3 years later, they're back on the streets. They have absolutely not a single cent of that left. So if we don't know how to use what we have wisely, through the power of Mother Saraswati, and forever learning, just like Saraswati means forever flowing. We can't think we have learnt everything. We start to learn and we continue to learn. Only then will this wealth serve us in a righteous manner.
So if I can sum up, then the victory is only attained when we go through the process, isn't it?
Absolutely.
When we go through that process of Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Vijayadashami, the 10-day. So it is 9 nights, a celebration of 9 nights. 9 nights meaning the darkness, the ignorance of us. And the day, Vijayadashami, celebrating during the daytime, because it symbolizes the dawning of knowledge. So like you have 2 engines of an aeroplane, like you have 2 oars of a person in a boat, like you have 2 wings of a bird. We need materiality and we need spirituality to become successful. As far as Sanatana Dharma is concerned, if you are only materially successful, you are unsuccessful. So today's discourse, we hope that this journey to victory requires self-effort that must be put in by everyone in order to become victorious on the 10th day. Om Shakti.
Parashakti.